By all appearances, Chancellor Rachel Reeves sat on the verge of tears in the Commons this week, not over economic forecasts or opposition pressures, but over a pointed silence from her own Prime Minister, with Keir Starmer refusing to confirm she'll remain in post through the next election. A single moment of political theatre revealed the fissures of a leadership style defined by strategic ambiguity and emotional detachment. Now, this is no minor wobble. Labour's retraction of key welfare reforms has blown a £5 billion hole through Reeves's carefully managed fiscal plans. But what's more striking is Starmer's reaction. Not to defend, reassure or even placate, but to distance.
She looks, Mr. Speaker, she's pointing at me. She looks absolutely miserable. Labour MPs, yeah, she looks absolutely miserable. Labour MPs, they can point as much as they like. The fact is, Labour MPs are going on the record saying that the Chancellor is toast, and the reality is that she is a human shield for his incompetence. In January, he said that she would be in post till the next election. Will she really?
Prime Minister, she certainly won't. Mr. Speaker, I have to say I'm always cheered up when she asks me questions or responds to a statement, because she always makes a complete mess of it and shows just how unserious and irrelevant they are. But she talks about the black hole. They left a £22 billion black hole in our economy, and we're clearing it up. And I'm really proud, Mr. Speaker, that in the first year of a Labour government we got free school meals, breakfast clubs, childcare, got £15 billion invested in transport in the North and the Midlands. We're cutting regulation, planning and infrastructure is pounding forward, building 1.5 million homes, the biggest investment in social and affordable housing, and of course, Mr. Speaker, the 3 trade deals. Remember the ones that they couldn't get, including the US trade deal. On Monday, those tariffs came down. That secured the jobs at JLR. That's who we care about on this side of the House.
How awful for the Chancellor that he couldn't confirm that she would stay in place. Yeah.
Now, he was going through what this Labour government had achieved, and he just might have actually forgot to do this. But for a leader whose political brand is built on restoring credibility and unity, the optics are troubling. A Chancellor under pressure, a Prime Minister who won't offer her a lifeline, and a party caught between discipline and discomfort. Tory leader Kemi Badenoch seized the moment with clinical efficiency, casting Reeves as absolutely miserable and Starmer as evasive. It was more than a parliamentary jibe. It was a calculated reframing of Labour as emotionally fractured and strategically brittle. And then there was, from the day before, the intervention from within. Labour MP Dr Maria Tidball, herself disabled, denounced the welfare bill as shameful and voted against her own party. It was not rebellion for rebellion's sake. It was conscience asserting itself in a party, wrestling with its moral compass.
Thinking of my toddler and what might happen if I caught coronavirus meant I sobbed deeply. After 10 years of austerity, I knew then that disabled people would pay an enormous price, and they did. Almost 60% of COVID-related deaths were disabled people in that first wave. I vowed then that I would do all I could to create a country which treats disabled people with dignity and respect. The social security system was broken by the Conservative legacy of austerity and their monumental mishandling of the COVID pandemic. I am now one of the only visible physically disabled members of Parliament. I am proud that our manifesto committed to championing the rights of disabled people and the principle of working with disabled people to ensure our views and voices are at the heart of all we do. My communities nurtured me growing up, and they taught me the values of fairness, equality, community. So it is with a heavy, broken heart that I will be voting against this bill today. As a matter of conscience, I need my constituents to know I cannot support the proposed changes to PIP as currently drafted on the face of the bill before us today. Since April, I've been engaging relentlessly with the government at the very highest level to change their proposals as set out in this bill, making it clear I could not support the proposals on PIP. PIP is an in-work benefit designed to ensure disabled people can live independently. Low-level support like PIP helps to build the bridge to the deinstitutionalisation of disabled people, keeping us out of the dark corners of hospitals, prisons and social care settings. The concessions the government have now announced are significant, including that all recipients of PIP who currently receive it will continue to do so. While this will come as a relief to my 6,000 constituents who receive PIP, there are still 4 million disabled people in poverty in the UK. Proposed changes at committee stage are still currently projected to put 150,000 people into poverty. I cannot accept this, nor a proposed point system under current descriptors which would exclude eligibility for those who cannot put on their underwear, prosthetic limbs or shoes without support.
Her pain was not performative. It was a piercing reminder that policy is not abstract and party loyalty cannot substitute for conviction. What does this mean about Starmerism? That loyalty may be a one-way street. That technocratic polish cannot disguise moments when leadership demands human empathy, and that behind the tightened optics lies a party still haunted by its own past fractures. Starmer may still command discipline, but discipline without solidarity feels more corporate than collective. Reeves' tears weren't weakness. They were a symbol of a cost exacted by a leadership style that prizes control over camaraderie. And in politics, silence can be strategic, but in this case, it spoke volumes.